We're live, pal.
Yes, sir.
Hell yeah. All
God
right,
damn, Alex already got in there.
maybe he was waiting.
Shit.
What's up, Alex? Hello, everybody. Welcome to the second episode of the KayFabe Kartel.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Where we break down wrestling from the real wrestlers attitude era standpoint.
From the genuine wrestler
The
fan.
exactly.
Genuine.
Um yes. While you're here, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Go check us out on Rumble. Make sure you subscribe to us over there. We're also on our backup channel here. So go check out our main channel,
The Misfit Nation.
The Misfit Nation. Yes. All right. So Wunda, we're gonna get into some wrestling conversation here.
Oh boy.
So we were just checking out this Austin Theory guy.
First of all, when you first brought up Austin Theory to me, I'm going to be honest. I thought it was some kind of theory about Stone Cold Steve Austin with Vince McMahon. Not to find out it was this little soy boy that's the new and upcoming like Kurt Angle. I don't like him. Anything that Vince McMahon has to offer is always a shit show. So give him a few more months and he's going to be bottom tier, guaranteed.
You think Vince is gonna lose interest in him?
Yeah.
I agree. I think Vince will. I think there's potential in the guy. I don't think he's a total loss.
I wouldn't say he's a total loss, but I think because it's the push from Vince McMahon, it's going to become a total loss. It always seems to crash and burn when Vince McMahon is the main storyline with somebody. If it's not Stone Cold or like The Undertaker.
Well, it had. Well, here's the problem that Vince is already doing with Austin Theory is that he's kind of bullying him, and now unless that's leading up to Austin Theory eventually like snapping on Vince and standing up to him and maybe going into some kind of feud or whatever where Vince starts sending
I don't
guys
know.
at
Vince
him.
is kind of old now. I can't see him going toe to toe with any wrestler in the ring for any promo or any storyline.
That's why I said I think it's either going down one or two roads. Vince is getting he's having him become his henchman, or he flips on Vince and then Vince gets another henchman to go after him, like where he starts sending guys after him. Now, do I think Austin Theory is going to be able to like pull that off? I don't know, because he's sort of playing off this naive fool. And I don't know if that's just him acting or if that's just him not like his lack of acting.
Watching any promo that I've seen or any story that we just watched of Vince McMahon with Austin Theory was kind of cringeworthy. It's not the same Vince. He's coming off kind of like he just looks old. That plastic surgery that he got, making him look like Cesar Romano, is not going to help him. Or Romero, it's not going to help him. He just really looks like the Joker.
He really does. That fucking listen. The I guess we could call it the new Vince character because he's not the old Vince.
Yeah,
he's not the
Vince.
screaming. Yeah, like
he still has almost, this, but it's toned.
No, he's almost playing off like a Vince. Like it's almost like he's trying to be the godfather of wrestling.
Yeah, he's Vince Capone now.
Yeah, where it's very like, hey, listen, I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna have to beat up Vince.
Or I'm gonna tell you all my ways of how I enjoy firing people.
Yeah, for instance, he that's his new "you're fired." It's I'm gonna tell you how I like to fire people. Like I'm gonna scare you. Yeah. I don't know. I think that has potential too. Vince doing that if he I don't know. Vince has a weird way of acting, so it's hard to tell what he's gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
But
you could just tell it's. I don't see it like before. We wouldn't know what he was gonna do, but it's like I don't think we kind of know where it's going, and we don't know if it's going to be for the good at this moment with Austin Theory. But I do see now when they're with all the forums and discussions I was reading what kind of body set that he's looking for now. I thought it was going to be a little bit more twiggish than that. But if that's the body set that he thinks that's the perfect specimen for prime time, then yeah, he could get a few more people like that on the roster, and it
Look,
should be a decent era.
at least the one thing you can give Austin Theory is he actually looks like a wrestler. He
Yeah,
looks like
yeah, that's what I'm
somebody who
saying.
should be there.
He doesn't look like a high flyer. He doesn't look like I could make you flip with a clothesline. He just looks like the perfect specimen for entertainment of wrestling.
His wrestling is like that's what we had to talk about. His finisher move. He needs something way better, way more devastating.
What is it called? The ATL?
ATL horrible.
It's like the F5 mixed with go to sleep.
Yeah.
Shit's
F5
trash.
plus go to sleep equals ATL.
ATL. Oh, Alex, just to let you know, these hands don't touch Xbox. That's Blaze shit.
Yeah. I don't want to get Xbox on my hands.
Yeah. Fanboys and jizz. They say
Yeah.
protect that, so I ain't even gonna go into that.
It reminds me a lot of Randy Orton. Remember when Randy Orton first came in? He had that like sort of queer move where it was the MVP move.
Yeah,
he took over.
Oh,
and it
that's
just
right, he did.
Yeah,
That was
and it didn't.
Shit.
And Randy Orton's a good example of your finisher move making you a bigger star because
It's
that RKO.
That bob hairstyle he had was fucking gay too. He looked like a gay cowboy.
Yeah, I get a lot of Randy Orton vibes from this guy. Like not in character, but in terms of his status.
I get a lot of bald head Kurt Angle with the little baby cowboy hat and the guitar.
Yeah, a little bit of that too. When Vince took him under his wing.
And
yeah. But I'm also getting where Vince is trying to almost instill the new ruthless aggression era with this guy, where his whole thing is, listen, you need to be more vicious. Go out there and knock fucking Finn's teeth out.
Yeah, after you pin him for the 3 count, beat him up. Yeah, that's like. But even so, let's discuss that for a little bit.
Yes,
this new ruthless aggression, right?
Wait,
the fact that I miss when someone got their ass whooped after a match and a bell rang for like 3 minutes straight, and the commentators are like, "Oh, he needs help! Someone go help him now!
Somebody get out here!"
Yeah, and then a bunch of refs will run down the stage to try to break it up. Like that's what it's missing. I think that was the things like that where we're kids that watched it that made it a little bit realistic, even though we knew it was fake.
100%. It's the very intricate details that make it seem real. Right. Where it's like where sometimes when there would be like you would see the camera would fall and you'd see the cameraman's feet and you'd be like, oh shit. Right. Like it's those little things that made you go like, holy.
Even when it was a pay-per-view on Sunday and they got their ass whooped and they came out on Raw with a freaking bandage.
A bandage.
Or like they don't do that shit no more. They're coming back out scot-free like they weren't touched the night before.
Well, no, because this is the thing, is he beat down Finn, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Finn didn't show up for like 2 weeks or something. Like they were playing off that was him getting beat up. Now, that's what I'm saying. I don't think
that's
because I was going to say, I was going to say Austin Theory's beatdown should have looked better and he should have made it look better. But I think in this era, that's a beatdown now. That's his out of action beatdown.
I can't continue watching wrestling remembering where someone would take a steel chair and put it between the head or the arms or the leg of the person and jump off the top rope. That's excusable for a 2 weeks absence. But just punching somebody in a full mount 3-4 more times and then picking them up to do their finisher one more time and you're out for 2 weeks, that's soft as shit. That's soft. Right.
And the finisher isn't even the finisher has to be super devastating in order for that to work. If you're going to put that over as the finisher that does that. Like the Randy Orton punt kick, that was the perfect one. Like that's
so bad that they had to ban that shit.
They had to ban it. Yeah.
That was what made it great.
So yeah, for sure he needs if they're going to push him the way they're pushing him, he needs a devastating finisher, not just a new finisher. He needs something that's going to really make you go, holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, him as Vince's protege, like I said, that could go wherever it goes. I think this is the weird thing that I find about Austin Theory is he's got charisma, but he's still a bad actor. And I didn't know that was possible.
Yeah, it's possible.
I guess
Crash Holly.
The Rock, yeah.
Yeah,
The Rock's not a good actor.
he's not a good actor either. I also wanted to keynote that his whole selfie business. You're a grown ass man
Needs to go.
taking selfies. It gotta go. Like you're not. That would have probably played better with a female wrestler than a male wrestler taking selfies of everything.
100%, yeah. And then
he
has. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna just note that him doing the selfie thing, and Vince McMahon has always been noticed as someone that doesn't take pictures with fans or anything. It just doesn't match.
Yeah, or they could be playing off of that. I don't know if WWE's writing is smart enough to do that, but
I don't think they haven't been smart in the last 10 years.
Yeah, you're right.
12.
Right. He also, this is the last thing I'll say about him. He also has this this catchphrase which needs to change. It's expect the unexpected. And it's like, to me, I get fucking WWE 2K my career character.
I would accept that if his finisher was a lot better.
Or if it was like a from out of nowhere move.
Yeah, but expect the unexpected and you're just twirling someone around you and landing them on your knee. It's kind of trash.
Yeah, and what is he doing that's unexpected?
And that's the go again with this new generation. I think, Chris, that what we seen was their full-fledged beatdown.
Yeah, that was a legit beatdown. That was supposed to compare to, like, that's the new version of it. I'm gonna hit my finisher one more time before I leave, and now you're injured. Or I'm gonna throw you into the into like a table, or put you through a table is now an injury.
Yeah,
in wrestling, they don't go the extra mile with that.
The last people to do a devastating through a table was the Shield.
Yeah, you're right. Wow. And to be honest, that didn't even really compare.
It didn't compare, but that was the best you can get at the moment or at the time.
It at least made you feel something.
At least when they did it, the person would be back next week to go through another goddamn table.
Definitely. I guess last positive I'll give on Austin Theory is that he has the charismatic kind of entrance. They just need to do something to that. He has a
D'Lo Brown without the net walk. I don't like it.
It's it's a walk. It's a walk.
I don't like this Austin Theory guy. I think so. I don't know yet.
I don't like him either. I don't like him either, but it's, if Vince is picking him as a protege, I think it's worth talking about him.
All right, we talk a lot about what we don't like. Who's at least one prospect out now that shows potential?
I think we should because I have to catch up on more wrestling to be in depth with this conversation. But
okay. I just wanted one. I didn't even want three or anything. If you just knew one.
Grayson Waller, I saw some stuff with him. I thought he was all right.
Okay.
That was one person that I was like, hey, it's something. He kind of looks like a retarded Rob Lowe, but
Mine. We already spoke about him. It's not even WWE. It's Hook. Hook has big potential.
I think so too.
Yeah, so that's.
I think he has potential to. I think if you know what, let's continue this conversation. Let's catch up on some wrestling, and then we'll have the prospect conversation next week.
Right.
Yeah. But I think Hook is definitely. I don't know if it's take over the wrestling world level.
No,
but yeah,
there is no need. I don't think they'll ever have a savior in the next few years that's gonna be the face of wrestling and keep wrestling going. That's why I feel like wrestling's gonna die within the next 5 years.
I'll tell you who has the personality to do it is but he might be a little too old, and he might
tell me Baron Corbin, I'm done with this podcast.
No, he's bigger than wrestling. Record deal for Baron Corbin. LA Knight, I think he's got the star quality, but I don't know if he's got the I don't know if he has the time. He might be a little too up there.
You know who needs to go? Almost. That's his name.
Almost
Yeah, almost big.
the big
Almost.
guy.
Yeah,
You're not gonna get rid of a giant until you get everything out of him.
he's already got everything out of him.
Yeah.
Does he still wrestle with AJ?
I don't know, to
Then
be
it's
honest.
over. Then it's
Again,
over.
I gotta. Yeah, you get split up from AJ. You're done. AJ's done.
Alex said Hook versus Serpentine was funny and awesome. It's a minute long.
All right, we'll check that out.
Yeah.
Here's who I want to talk about: Finn Balor, who's supposedly leaving
Nah, nah,
WWE,
nah, nah.
and
Nah, nah,
Wonder.
nah,
I
nah.
could not give a fuck less. I think he needs to go. I think Finn Balor is the most overrated wrestler.
I liked Finn Balor when I didn't know it was Finn Balor. I liked Finn Balor when he was the fake Willow.
But that was just all that was just Finn Balor with face paint on and a slightly cooler entrance.
But that
It
was
wasn't like he
that
did a different character.
he
At
didn't
least
do a different character.
Willow was a totally different character.
It wasn't a different character, but it was better accepted with him with the face paint on and that entrance. Like to me, he just comes off like O'Connor Jr. Like he looks like he just it's McGregor. Yeah, he looked like Conor McGregor Jr.
No,
He just looks like a bare knuckle fighter.
because
Like
Conor McGregor at least had personality. Like you could sell Conor McGregor. Fucking Finn Balor is a dry country bumpkin. He's boring. He's boring and not creative. Vince McMahon,
LA Knight is on the chopping block list.
I wouldn't be surprised. They're trying to get young people. And I think he's he's like 30. He's almost close to 40, I believe. But Finn Balor too. That's why WWE is getting rid of him. And I think Vince was quoted as saying that Finn Balor is generic and cookie cutter. And I 100% agree with Vince.
Hey man, it was once Vince thought it was risque at once for him to have that finisher. I can't pronounce it. That French shit. Just stomping on someone's chest.
Oh, the I can't even remember.
Co-op de
Cote d'Ivoire.
Cote d'Ivoire, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Finn, he never entertained me. He never entertained me. What happened?
Do you agree with that he's boring and cookie cutter?
I wouldn't say boring more than the cookie cutter. He is a cookie cutter, but boring. He's had matches that kept my attention, so I won't call him boring, but I'm pretty sure it was because of the other wrestler, like Bray Wyatt.
Yep.
Stuff that he used to wrestle, you know what I'm saying? So those were probably the reasons why I watched the match for as long as I did watch it for. But him as a person, if I had a game with him on it, I wouldn't pick him.
No.
If I could get free merch, I wouldn't buy his or get his.
Who is Finn Balor? Like, what's his character? Irish guy?
I guess. Was Finn Balor the one that has the music? It was like,
yeah, and he did the.
That's the best fucking part of his whole thing.
His entrance.
Yeah.
Listen, this is where I think what we need to start doing is starting to set this precedence, right? Of like where people like to throw around this thing where they go, but he's a great performer. He's a great worker. You know what I mean? Listen, okay. I don't think Finn Balor is a great performer or a great worker. I think he's a great athlete. I think he does great athletic things.
That means he's a good worker.
No. A great worker is like Shawn Michaels, where
he's a great entertainer.
No. Shawn Michaels is that's what it is though. Finn Balor isn't entertaining. That's the problem. He's athletic and he's maybe fun to watch here and there.
You can't say he's not good at wrestling moves. Like he doesn't botch anything. It's not like he's predictable either. It's just that it's boring.
No, he's
he's a good worker.
Listen, you could find, and that's why you said it depends on who he's wrestling.
Yeah,
Because if it's up to him, he's gonna have the same match every single time.
that's just like
That's
Neville.
Well, yeah, that's like a lot of these guys. That's why I'm trying to give a comparison of like Shawn Michaels, where Shawn Michaels was great because most of his matches were different. You didn't really find a Shawn Michaels like on autopilot match unless he was fucked up on drugs and couldn't move his back. You get what I'm saying? And
Oh,
even
Alex
then,
Coquito said Shawn Michaels was not athletic.
yeah, but he was a great performer. And it's like a singer that's not that great, but he can fucking perform better.
Honestly, when it came to performance with Shawn Michaels, sometimes it got corny, and he tried to emulate old school like Ric Flair.
Ric Flair, yeah.
And for it to be a newer generation emulating Ric Flair's like selling moves and stuff, it was kind of corny.
You're talking about
Getting
like
hit and then and walking for a minute and dropping, or like getting hit to
you're
a
talking.
turnbuckle and flipping over it.
I was just
It
about to
was
say you're talking about the turnbuckle spot where he would do the flip over.
yeah, like all that.
Sometimes that would be corny as fuck, but most of the time that shit would hit, and it would look good. Like if it was the Undertaker throwing him, like somebody that was worthy of doing that spot with, he should have been a little more limited with that spot.
The problem is that's all he had left at the end of his run. That's why that freaking Saudi Arabia match was fucking terrible.
No, that's like 15 years after he retired. His up to his last match, he was great. Great. Top, maybe number one performer ever in wrestling. But what I'm saying is Finn Balor didn't have that. Finn Balor's matches were by the book, paint by numbers. Like he did cool things, but we knew when it was coming. We knew what it was going to be. I got that a lot with Randy Orton. When Randy Orton, most of the time, he's on autopilot.
Oh yeah, Randy Orton matches is an autopilot match.
You know what it's going to be.
John
The
Cena
only
too.
thing that John Cena too. The only thing Randy Orton had was that the RKO would just be the surprise move.
Yeah.
It'd be a
Alex,
boring
I've been
match
watching
up to the RKO.
Peacemaker. I don't like it. I can't get into it for some reason. I'm on episode 3 out of the 4, and I just can't do it.
All right, we'll get into that another time. How many times are we gonna talk about Peacemaker? Yeah, I just I don't know. I think there's a difference between being a great athlete and a great performer. I think wrestling needs to split that up more.
Who's another great athlete but not a great performer?
Let's see. Well, I'll give you one that was both. Kurt Angle.
Great performer and great athlete?
Both, yes.
Okay.
And probably as good at both.
Would you consider? I don't consider Stone Cold Steve Austin a great athlete.
Yeah, that's a great one. Hulk Hogan. For his time.
That's another thing I needed to talk about with you. I'm glad you brought him up. Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan had a better Hollywood career than The Rock. Sorry, I don't care how much money The Rock makes now.
Up.
If it wasn't for Hulk Hogan, there would be no Rock doing what the fuck he's doing right now. Gotta give him the homage of that.
I totally disagree.
He was the first wrestler to break the barrier of like being
Rowdy Piper. Rowdy Piper had a better acting career than Hulk Hogan.
Forget the movies. Forget the just the fact that he was the one to break the barrier of wrestlers in movies. Then Andre the Giant, and then Roddy Piper.
I'll make this argument. If it wasn't Hulk Hogan, it would have been The Rock as the first.
But you think The Rock would have gotten that kind of clearance?
Yeah.
Because of...
I think The Rock probably had a harder time because of Hulk Hogan. They were like, oh, he's just a goofy wrestling buffoon. And then they saw The Rock and they were like, oh, he looks like a Hollywood guy.
You got to remember Hulk Hogan's face was on every fucking thing. Posters, thermos, lunchboxes, toys. They were like, niggas probably would have gave an arm and a leg to have Hulk Hogan in a movie as a cameo.
Yes. All right. Alex Coquito just said it. Thunder Lips. when he played Thunderlips.
Mhm.
It's not like it's seen as cartoonish now. Hulk Hogan himself is seen as he's cartoonish.
Yeah, because he played himself in every fucking thing except Three Ninjas. He literally played a version of himself in every movie he was in.
Big Show and Jingle All the Way had a better career than anything Hulk Hogan did.
Big Show was in Jingle All the Way?
Yeah, he played the Big Giant. I think it was uncredited.
What Big Giant?
Remember the giant Santa Claus?
That was him?
Yeah,
Holy shit,
you could
that's
tell.
funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I get it. You're right.
Yeah, come on. What were we just saying? Oh,
But
you asked a question. I forgot what the question.
Is it because we're Austin fans, or would you believe that Austin's career past wrestling wasn't as big as most, but could have been?
Stone Cold, I think
Because he was in Longest Yard.
he was in Longest Yard. He was in
That
what is it? In
the,
the Dispendables? Is
the
that what it was called?
Expendables.
Expendables, sorry. Dispendables.
He was in Expendables.
Yeah, he was in like the second one. He was in Grown Ups 2. He's a sequel guy.
Stone Cold was in Grown Ups too.
Yeah. He was pretty funny in Grown Ups 2, actually.
I don't remember him in Grown Ups too.
Yeah, he was the guy that was bullying Adam Sandler the whole time.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And then I think at the end he dresses as like Dog the Bounty Hunter or something.
The Condemned. That's the movie I was thinking of when he was like a felon that came out on like a Royal Rumble island.
Yeah. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
I saw it a while
Wasn't
back,
he?
but
He wasn't. No, that was the John Cena. I'm thinking he was in the first Marine, but John Cena was in like Condemned 2 and then the Marines.
I think the problem with that Stone Cold had was that he had a hard time getting past the Stone Cold character because it was so much him. You know what I mean? Like The Rock I think was a lot of like, I don't think The Rock is really like The Rock. That's an act. That's a total act. Because then when you see The Rock in interviews, he's a very nice guy. He's well spoken. He doesn't make fun of people. You know what I mean? Stone Cold is Stone Cold no matter where he is.
Yeah, that's the bottom line.
Yeah.
Stone Cold said so.
I saw him on like Good Morning America one time, and he's like, yeah, go out there, drink some beers, whip some ass. It's like, that's Stone Cold.
That's why you'll never see Undertaker in anything.
You probably could if he knew how to act. He probably doesn't know how to act beyond the Undertaker. Because the Undertaker is such an act, it's such a put on that he can do something different if he wanted to. Yeah.
I see. The Miz tried hard to be an actor. That didn't work for him. He thought he had the face for Hollywood.
Yeah. But real quick.
Yeah, Ric Flair wasn't in any movies?
No. Not that I know of. He might have did some cameos or something.
Hey, Ric Flair has a Migos song. He's okay. He was in the Migos music video.
No, he was tripping when WWE let him go. Supposedly, Ric Flair, lived his life like a rapper, spent all his money.
Yeah, they let him go. They brought him back. Then he left. He released himself.
No, I think they let him go.
No, this last one, he put a tweet out himself releasing.
Really?
Yeah.
I remember it that he got released and then put out a tweet sort of going off on WWE.
No, he put out one during. And he was in a Bad Bunny video? Oh, okay.
That makes sense.
Ric Flair is a fucking he's a superstar, bro.
Ric Flair, great performer, bad athlete. And then as opposed to like a Eddie Guerrero, who was an all-around guy.
Okay.
Chris Benoit.
Put a comparison. Chris Benoit was a
great athlete, bad performer.
Bad
because
performer.
because he wasn't.
Just like Chavo.
Yeah, I'll give you that one.
And Hardcore Holly.
Dean Malenko.
Fuck Dean Malenko. He was a bad performer and a dead. Landstorm, Dean Malenko, all of them. Those fuck that whole squad could suck a dick.
Yeah, except for Chris Jericho and Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah.
Everybody else useless. Perry Saturn.
There's a lot of bad performers, but good athletes, and a lot of good athletes and bad performers.
Maybe calling a Chris Benoit a bad performer. He wasn't a good performer. I'll put it that way, because his matches were actually entertaining.
He was, for what kind of character he was, he fit it well. Like that stiff, crazy looking motherfucker, that was him. So that he fit that persona, and he was actually that in real life. So
Chris Jericho, is he a bad athlete?
Chris Jericho, a bad athlete?
Great performer, but was he a bad athlete?
He had its time.
Where he was, because he was in the cruiserweight division.
Yeah.
He
had his time.
Hanging with them.
Right. Lion salting everywhere and shit.
Yeah. Scott Steiner. Great all around, actually.
Great mathematician.
And he was brilliant. Yes. He had the brains, the brawn. Oh, man.
Sorry to say this. Y'all might say what to me, but Triple H, great athlete, bad performer. Triple H used to be boring to me, bro.
He was good with depending on who he was with, because him by himself was boring. Evolution was boring to me.
You have to remember that he talk like this.
But there was times when Triple H was funny. DX, he was funny in DX.
It wasn't him only that made DX funny.
He played the straight man, but he was a good straight man.
It was a little twinkle of Shawn Michaels in the mix that made his lines funny.
And then when he was the leader of DX, he did kind of take a little from Shawn Michaels'
And then
personality.
When he was the leader, you also had to remember New Age Outlaw did a lot of mic work.
Actually, if it wasn't for New Age Outlaws, the new DX would have been fucking lame and fell off. Yeah,
yep.
100%. They made them cool. Road Dogg, actually. Road Dogg is the one that held that group together.
Road Dogg is the Mike King, bro. Like, to this day. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, of all ages.
And you could put him anywhere, and he's going to be good on the mic.
The World Wrestling Federation, I'd like to give to you.
The Road Dogg, Jesse J. Yeah, that whole shit just...
A badass Billy Gunn. The New Age Outlaws. That shit was dope.
Yeah. And then even Billy Gunn would be the one that did the, if you're not down with that, we got 2 words for you.
Yeah.
Even,
this might sound crazy. Bad athletes, great performers, the Dudley Boys.
Yeah, I'm with you. Great performers. They were fun to watch. They were
ECW anything. Bad athletes, great performers. Except for Sabu.
Sabu, bad athlete, great performer. New Jack was
fucking flew off of. He'd snort some coke and jump off a 10-foot railing if you told him to.
Great performer.
You
believed him. He was interesting to watch.
Do something over a sculptor. He's a fucking great performer because he owed him money. Fuck it, let me kill him. That's what we came to watch. Someone dying, so he was that guy.
Yeah.
It's
like a rapper. It's like a rapper that raps about killing people. You kind of want them to be really.
You kind of want to see that news clip of so and so rapper is in prison, like just for shooting somebody.
Or at least he did it back in the day, and he's reformed.
Yeah.
That's an interesting conversation, though. I think we definitely need to change the because I think that's why we're at where we're at now. Is there's too many people who are around because they're quote unquote great performers and great workers. But what does that even mean?
Yeah.
No. I think when the people say they're great performers and great workers, they're just saying they're great athletes.
If
And
you
it's like
haven't
that
noticed
doesn't
now
make
in
a great
wrestling,
wrestler.
selling a move is totally different than how we remember how moves were supposed to be sold.
Yeah.
Like there, people are getting like we already talked about this once ago. Like a super kick back in the day will have you down for the 3 count.
It was
A
a
super
finisher.
kick now is a fucking basic move. It's just a gap filler.
I've seen matches start with super kicks.
I don't think I've seen a 10 count with 2 people knocked down on the mat in a long time. Even counting it. And it gets to 9 and they're just getting up. They don't even do that anymore.
They don't even do the count anymore, right?
No.
And that used to be such an interesting part, or a little detail that was so
Even a
interesting
ring
to
out.
watch.
Even a ring out. Knock a nigga out and roll him outside the ring and wait till 10. That shit used to be like, oh damn, he fucked him up.
Here's another one. They don't really do fake injuries anymore. Like, remember where the wrestler would come out on a wheelchair or something, or crutches,
and get up and fucking smack him with the crutch or some shit. Yeah,
but you knew they were really healed, and then there would be the point where you knew they were healed, but they were faking it.
Yeah,
like they don't do the injury storyline anymore.
Or they'll take the cast off, knock somebody over with it, and then put it back on.
Yeah,
for the ref can see. Yeah, shit like they don't, bro. I'm telling you, as cheesy as it sounds now, that's what wrestling's missing. That's what we keep talking about that needs to be fixed, and that's right there.
Wonder, it's just like when they remake movies, all you want them to do is make the same movie, but just make it better.
Yeah, just expand off the last movie. That's all you got to do.
Make it better and make it more with the times that we're in now. That's all you got to do. And there's ways to do the fake injury thing.
And then if we ask for that, we're getting that then. If it's for the time, because we're in the soft time now. This is baby shit era. This is what they should call this whole era we're living in.
Well, don't you remember when back in the day they would do a lot of the they would catch like Ric Flair in the parking lot, and he'd jump somebody and they'd do all that stuff, and it'd be like on a day off.
Yeah.
They could do that so easily now with social media, where they can just be like, this was caught in this, these guys wrestle, where they can make it seem at least a little real with detail and make it more with our time.
Do you remember when, I think it was ECW when they first got there, and it was like Ric Flair in a suit, and this nigga starts taking off his jacket with the shirt just to go whoop ass in the fucking parking lot?
Yeah.
Yo, that's what they're missing, bro. They're missing that shit.
Right.
Or they're just walking, coming in, they just got out the car and they're walking towards the door and you're just, oof, ugh.
Or do you remember
beating them up?
The simple setup would be like, remember when wrestlers would just show up throughout the show? Like The Rock would show up at like 9:30.
Yeah.
For a 10 o'clock show. You know what I mean? Like where the show would end at 10. It's like, Jesus, you show up that late for work? Yeah. And but the thing would be dope where a wrestler would come out and cut a promo at the beginning and go like, I'm calling out The Rock, and then The Rock wouldn't come out, and then he'd wait in the parking lot for him.
Yeah.
And then they'd cut back to him all throughout the night waiting in the parking lot for The Rock. Like those little things can be like, they don't do any of that anymore. Where it's all just go out to the ring and wrestle. Listen, here's the thing. When we were talking about Finn Balor, I wanted to say this. Where people go, oh, he's a guy who wrestles every night and this and that. Top wrestlers aren't supposed to wrestle every night. That's not what top wrestlers do. They show up to the show and promote their pay-per-view matches.
I'm not gonna lie. Back in the day, top wrestlers always performed.
They were on the show, but they didn't always wrestle a match. They weren't in a match.
It depends on the pay-per-view. Because they will always have a match right before the pay-per-view where someone's cheating. And now it's like a cliffhanger until the pay-per-view match.
Yeah, it would all be bullshit matches if they had one. But like Stone Cold, for instance, and they did this because he was injured too, but he didn't wrestle at all on the shows. He would just do his
wrestle
antics.
At all when he was in the matches.
You're right. Hulk Hogan, top guy, didn't wrestle every night. He would wrestle pay-per-views and maybe once every few months on Nitro.
There is the Undertaker that only wrestled WrestleMania.
Oh. You have to do that with top guys. We can't, like, going Finn Balor's gonna wrestle on Royal Rumble. You got to pay for it. It's like, why would I do that when I could see him wrestle the same exact match on Raw the week before? It's stupid.
He does a match on Raw the week before, but it's not the storyline match of what he was working with for the last 3 months. You know what I'm saying? So,
but what does that matter when you don't give a shit about the storyline? The storyline's not compelling enough to make you care about the match.
We don't see it compelling because we know the difference between great storytelling and what's now. We have to not be those grumpy old men and realize that these kids nowadays are stupid and they enjoy stupid things, and that's what they're getting.
No, this is why it's stupid, because the storyline now in all wrestling is we're all competing, and it's like, bro, it's a fake competition. Why do we give a fuck about competition as the storyline if we know it's fake or scripted? Sorry, not to use the word fake.
Yeah, before you got
wrestling fans get Jesus. But that, you know what I mean? Like, why you have to give us something other than they're competing, because we know it's all arbitrary. Like, so why other than competition and them wanting to be champion? Like, why do they want to beat the shit out of each other? Like, why is this going to be anything other than a wrestling match
for the title? They still fight for the title or title of something, even if it's just words more than a belt. They'll fight for that now.
No, that's not why we cared about it back in the day, though.
That's all why we cared about it back, but that's what wrestling came to.
No, but that's why it doesn't work, is what I'm saying. Is like, for instance, Shawn Michaels, to bring him up again. He won the title.
Just to let you know.
He won the title, and it wasn't the fact that he beat somebody. It was the fact that it was the boyhood dream came true.
Yeah. Well, they tried to.
Stone Cold won the title.
They weren't doing that with Big E. They were doing that with Big E.
That's not what it was. It wasn't like, oh, Big E won the title, now the Big E era has begun. You get what I mean?
No, it's just celebrate black people.
I won this title for, and yeah, they put the little, the black trope in there, but it's also, I won that match, so now I'm the champion. Now what's the storyline? There was no storyline.
But then you gotta also remember that became cliche too, because you had people like JBL and everybody that held the title for way too fucking long. Like, I don't want to see the same champion for 2 years.
Yeah, but you wouldn't mind seeing a champion be a champion for however long as what he's doing is entertaining and compelling.
But that also has to go back to what your first argument was. You can't have the top person wrestle every week.
No. But he's not supposed to. He's an attraction. He shows up, he says his shit, he does whatever antics they have him do, and then you pay to watch him wrestle because he's a top guy.
I think we got to a generation change too. And we went into 2 generational change since we've been watching wrestling, or since we stopped watching wrestling. So there's still people that don't know who we know, and there's people we don't know that they know. You know what I'm saying? And that's what makes it hard as well too, because you'll have someone like, sad to say, I've heard kids be like, "Who's Bobby Lashley? Who is Brock Lesnar?" But they've been watching wrestling. You know what I'm saying?
Who is Brock Lesnar is a stupid question.
Not when Brock Lesnar doesn't come. There was a time when Brock Lesnar popped face in once a year. So if you missed that one, you missed it. You missed him for another year.
Yeah, but Brock Lesnar he's the UFC guy. He was like on another level. That's why I think it's hard.
There's not a lot of wrestlers that watch UFC.
Fair. It's kind of like,
except for the ones that wanted to attack me once I brought up CM Punk. I think they just followed CM Punk to UFC to watch him wrestle, to watch him fight.
Yeah, but I mean, you could put CM Punk. Maybe he's all round great performer, great athlete.
I don't know. I'm no longer giving anybody any steez. If they're still wrestling to this day, I'm going off of what they're doing right now. I'm not going from what they used to do. So as of right now, he's a fucking terrible athlete, and he's a fucking terrible performer.
He's an active wrestler. So
yes,
yeah.
You getting a
Um,
paycheck right now? I'm gonna grade you for what you're doing right now. Retire again, and then I'll talk about you in an archived way. Until then, you suck.
true, true. We had to
Same with
retire
Triple
the
H. Same with everybody.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think I think a lot of it just doesn't make sense. They haven't look, I don't even want to start. I don't even want to put a bad look on like when people go, oh, I know I'm talking as an old school fan. It's like, but wrestling is wrestling. It's what it was for hundreds of years before, and it worked
But
every
can't say
time.
that either because the golden era was 2 times different than the attitude era.
But they used the same psychology in the Attitude Era. They just amped it up because it was the 90s.
Same psychology.
Yeah.
How they went with the times. They did emo. They did gothic. They did
You know what?
kidnapping. They did racial. They did
Actually,
all of that.
actually, you're right. Let me take that back because that is when they got into the time of the anti-hero
Yes.
because Stone Cold was an anti-hero. Yeah.
Anti-hero, yeah. There was nobody in the golden era that was beating up Vince McMahon or his dad. Like, you know
Right.
what I'm saying? So they
Well, even to where Vince had to come out and do that PSA where he goes, I know you guys don't like the old tropes of bad guys versus good guys. That whole thing
yeah.
where he basically introduced the Attitude Era.
Not to mention there was no need for the golden era to ever put out a picture a warning to don't try this at home because it was so AB skit like AB played out.
I think that was all politics, to be honest. I
It
think
was
that's
politics
because
to a degree. Back in the day, gold. If you go back and watch an old school wrestling match, it doesn't give you the urge to go out and do it yourself. But there was something about the Attitude Era and our peers that felt like shit. Now we can do it too. It's extreme because we
no,
they put out the civilian that was just a civilian, but they're coming into the ring and whoop ass. They weren't doing it
right.
back then. It would be a celebrity or something.
But I think people always emulated wrestling. I think kids always did that. I don't think that was new with our generation.
I
I think the
think
the
I think
thing
the
that
ones
was
that
different.
emulated back then became wrestlers.
No, I think the thing that was different was that what we started emulating was way more dangerous than Hulk Hogan body slamming Andre the Giant. You get that was like the big oh my god thing
Yeah.
back then, or just like doing an elbow drop off the top rope.
Yeah, I guess
Like
that's
we
what
were
goes into the backyard wrestling and stuff too. Like there wasn't backyard wrestling back in the golden times. People weren't
right
outside
because
their shit.
they weren't jumping off of shit
Yeah.
in the golden times like
Between
that. That's
Attitude Era and ECW caused us to really believe that we could fuck some shit up ourselves.
well, yeah, it made
Because
us
it's
all
already
believe
been
we
troped that
could
it was
be.
fake. So why can't we do it too?
Yeah, yeah. It was almost like Jackass. You were
Yeah.
like, oh, I could get famous for that. I could jump into some bushes, no problem.
Yeah, I could slam myself through a table. I could take a light bulb across the head. Like it's shit like
Right.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then Emmett, what's his name?
Emmett Till.
I
Jesus.
said Emmett Till, but Lionel Tate
Yeah.
came around and snapped that girl's neck in a suplex or choke slam or whatever it was. And now we have that. Now politics are getting in it because
Well,
now a minor's going to jail for fucking years.
I'll give you the people who actually like skirted a lot of backlash during that era was the Hardy Boys because we were always emulating the Hardy Boys when we were jumping off of
Yeah,
stuff. And nobody ever really like they never got into any like hot water specifically them.
not them.
Yeah, they
There's
got
been
they
plenty of
made it
times I
through.
hit a swanton bomb on somebody. Plenty of times.
Yeah. And
Plenty of times I missed the swanton too.
and when you hit it, it didn't look as good as Jeff Hardy, but you felt like it did.
Mine did. I know it did. I went
You had a
limp.
nice
I went like a
swanton.
starfish. Yeah, I just kind of went out like tucked in, and
I
then once I flip, I sprawled out. Like it was fun.
I had a beautiful elbow drop. I had Shawn Michaels level elbow drop. I'll tell you, it was
I had a high turn, high rope leg drop.
oh.
A1.
See, that's where a lot of the wrestlers that use that as their finisher, they or even use it, they regret
Yeah,
it later in
I'm
life.
fucked to this day, like already, and I haven't done it as long as they have, and
Yeah,
I suffer problems in the lower back region because of that.
yeah. Well,
Yeah,
we just brought up the Hardy Boys because we're gonna talk about them in a second. But
yeah,
um, Matt Hardy has like this weird back issue. Like, you ever see how he walks around like he's stiff?
yeah.
It's because he can't bend his back.
Same thing like the Undertaker.
Yeah.
They have
Well, he's
that
a big
hunch,
guy
like,
though.
yeah, he used to do a lot of leg drops. He stopped doing them shits.
He did. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, but let's get into the Hardy Boys discussion. Hardy Boys are back.
Hardy Boys will be returning as a tag team again. Yeah.
First time in 3 years, which
First time
isn't
in
too
3 years.
long, I guess.
It's long enough because no one really thought that both of them could be on two separate companies and excel.
Well, now I'm under the impression because they're going on some kind of tour, and I'm assuming it's
Yeah.
like their farewell tour. But
More
I'm
than
under
likely.
I'm also under the impression they're going back to like retro Hardy Boys.
I'm putting it. I want. I
Broken
like I
Matt
told
thing.
you. I wanted it to be like if they came back to WWE. I wanted them to be the new Groot again, as the new Groot with Edge instead of Gangrel. It would have been a great little thing to see. Another little Easter egg for the older wrestling fan.
Now I
But
gotta give you a little bit of credit because that's a super Easter egg because they were with the Brood for like 2 weeks. They weren't
yeah,
with them for very long.
that's me showing
Yeah,
how well I go back and watching these things.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I wanted to see that. I also consider the fact that Jeff Hardy just can't get his shit together with his drugs. So Matt has to be working with him in order for him to get some fucking work in.
I
So
heard that was all a bunch of bullshit.
you heard that
I
was a
heard
bunch of bullshit.
I heard that I can't remember the exact reason why he left, but I heard that he it wasn't drugs. Like, I heard that was just a bunch of that was just a bunch of nonsense.
Wow. If that's the case, then I don't have nothing to say. But the Jeff Hardy I know for how many times he has been released or anything has been for that reason.
That's
So
that's why I'm not like, I don't blame you for it's like if we both had a friend that was on drugs and you just
yeah,
thought for a minute,
it was
like, I'd
drugs.
be like,
Then yeah.
I don't blame you. But yeah, hopefully they could, Jeff could keep it together. He seems to be doing all right still. But I would assume they're coming back to WWE again, at least for the Hall of Fame thing. I don't think they're going to come back for another
Okay, here's the
match.
thing. Do you think if it was for Hall of Fame, do you think it's going to be the Hardy Boys or the Hardy Boys with Lita in the Hall of Fame?
You're going to go Hardy Boys, Lita, honorable mention. Oh, fuck. I just realized what an integral part she played in that team.
Yes.
Jesus Christ. But the Hardy Boys
She's
had a
the
legend.
China of the Hardy Boys, bro.
No, because China wasn't integral in DX.
China just got into the Hall of Fame because of DX.
Because of DX, yeah. But
So why can't Lita?
that's because that meant China needed DX to get into the Hall of Fame. They didn't need her.
Lita,
Lita,
however, Lita she was a part of the Hardy Boys. Like if it was any time there was some female smoke involved, it's now Jeff or Matt with Lita versus that person, or
but
it could be either one of the two brothers with her or both of them with her.
not even
She's
just
done
that.
matches like that.
Remember, she used to jump in sometimes and do that
Yes.
moonsault in the middle of the match.
And her music was the Hardy Boy music at one point.
Fuck, man. You just
Matter of fact, it was always the Hardy Boy music, and it would just show Lita, and then it would show her Swanton Bomb and everything.
I'll tell you why you put them separate, and maybe you put them in as a stable or something. But Hardy Boys had a legendary career without her too. after.
Yeah. But I think if they're going to do the Hardy Boys, they got to do it as a stable. Honestly, Lita deserves that much. She
She's
needs to
in
be
by
in the Hall of
herself,
Fame
though,
as
no?
well. Is she already in the Hall of Fame by
I think
herself?
she is by herself.
Okay, if she's already in the Hall of Fame by herself, there should be no reason. But I always see her at these fucking D+ conventions trying to sign autographs.
Because she's trying to promote her shitty band.
She's trying to promote her shitty new ring name. It's trash. It's like her name mixed with something else.
Oh. Well, here's what I think. I think it was mutually beneficial. That's how I'll put it. Because I think the Hardys didn't need Lita to make it, but Lita made them like cooler.
But they didn't need
another
China
level
to make it either in DX, but she made it onto the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, but China, because she got there because she was more
the ninth wonder of the world.
Yeah,
she was a freak.
Different. She was different.
Lita was different for that time too. Lita was she was fighting niggas.
But that's why she's
dudes too.
That's why she's in the Hall of Fame by herself. That's why you got to put the Hardys by themselves, and then maybe as I don't know if you could even put them as a stable, but they're all. I think they all get their shine.
Bro, even in the video game, Lita was beside him, coming down.
But Lita was great by herself too. She had a great career after the Hardys.
Yeah, she fucked better. Hey, she fucked Edge on live TV.
Hey, she also fucked S.A. Rios, but that didn't get her anywhere. Talk about throwbacks, huh?
Yeah. No, they should bring Paige back.
I hear she's she got cleared
from STDs.
from the law.
From freaking Xavier Woods Wood.
Alberto Del Rio's lawyer. I heard also Corey Graves got cleared to wrestle again.
Fuck Corey Graves, bro. I hated him as an announcer. I hated him as a wrestler.
He was an alright announcer.
Fuck what he did. No, he wasn't, bro. He's just as bad as the new one now that thinks he could say hip lingo. Let me throw on shades in the middle of the night and go like this and talk hip hop. Don't do that.
He came off as a lame white dude sometimes, but no, you know what? Actually, no. I'm not going to give that to Corey Graves. Corey Graves was actually like, he had his own kind of thing, his own personality. Like I could see if they told him to do that, he would probably go, no, I'm not doing that. That's lame.
I don't see Corey. Well, then they got two people that could come back for Royal Rumble then, Paige and Corey Graves. Good job. You know, 29 and 30 right there. Boom.
They're definitely going to do the thing where he's at the announcer table and his music hits and he gets up and takes
he's like,
jacket off.
It's me. It's my turn. Like how King usually do it.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
But that might be cool for Corey Graves in terms of like him as an announcer having some, like he can be having storylines with people now and still be an announcer.
I would have said to conjoin the women and men Royal Rumble together instead of having two. But then that kind of gives Vince the idea to be like, we can have a woman winner. And I don't want to see that. So I don't want to.
You know, that's what would happen too.
Yeah. I could care less about that then.
I could care less about the women's Royal Rumble, to be
Stephanie
honest.
McMahon needs to take her ass back in the ring.
Hey, listen, the Royal Rumble is probably the funnest match to watch for the last 25 years, and they've found a way to make it boring.
Me and my homies always get the pay-per-view and well, we don't have to now with the network, but we always gather up for either WrestleMania or Royal Rumble. But since they did add this woman half an hour bullshit, it hasn't been as entertaining to watch.
They found a way to make it boring.
Unless Bianca Belair's in it from number 1 all the way to 30. Then I might watch it.
This guy's a Belair simp.
Yeah. Something about that ponytail. Or is that ass? I don't know. It's one of those two.
She's a delightful woman. Yes.
See.
Yeah, well, I hear you told me actually that they still haven't filled it. Now, do you think that's them actually not being able to fill it, or they're keeping some surprises?
I think they were having issues of not feeling it, but once that became aired out that they weren't, I'm pretty sure people were calling their phones like, "Yo, put me on, put me on." I think it's filled now, but they're still acting like it's not. Because
Yeah, I don't think they should.
I could feel Johnny Knoxville coming out during the Royal Rumble and bringing out the whole Jackass cast.
True. Or bringing out somebody like a
Steve-O.
wrestler to wrestle in his place.
No, he's gonna bring out Steve-O with him. Steve-O's gonna be like courtside and then ringside and then get inside the ring and fuck some shit up.
You know, honestly, if they did that, that might be actually like a cool Royal Rumble moment.
Yeah.
Like,
They
if
need
you
to bring
remember when
Bad
they,
Bunny back.
you remember
I
when
like Bad
Steve-O
Bunny.
when Steve-O wrestled Umaga?
Yo, he got fucked up by Umaga. And
Like
he thought it was funny.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Umaga knocked him out.
Yeah. He got fucked up bad and he laughed about it after waking up.
He got hit with that Samoan rock hammer.
Let's talk about the worst fucking finisher move ever to reach WWE.
If you say
A
this,
thumb.
I was gonna say if you say that thumb.
The thumb.
The only thing that made me love that thumb move, what was it? The Samoan spike?
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that it was a fucking KO in a video game. Like if you use that move.
It's because of the cast over the thumb. I'm sorry, but when who would sell that shit the best? I forgot who it was. But someone will legit act like their head's a million pounds when they get hit with that shit and just drop. Boom. And then when I get back up, I forgot who it was, but geez, that was a terrible move. A terrible move.
Nah, I think
Worse
I
than
think
the ATL.
I think what was the
And the Cobra Strike.
what was the chop that Kali used to do? The Punjabi chop or some
The
shit.
Punjabi chop, yeah.
Is that what it was?
I could honestly, knowing people with heavy hands, that could be more devastating than the Cobra Strike from Santino.
The Cobra Strike is a horrible move. Yeah.
So that,
ATL is pretty bad.
ATL is in my top 5 worst already. Like,
It's an ugly move too. It's not even like, doesn't even look good.
Like I don't. What are you trying to? See, Brock Lesnar came in the game and fucked shit up, man. Because I remember first time seeing that F5 and how scared I was as a kid seeing it. Like, holy shit! And now everybody knows that that's the pillar of devastation. So let me use the fireman carry and do something in between it to be devastating.
I remember after we saw the F5, we came to school the next day and we're talking about it.
Yeah.
Like,
it took me like 2 weeks.
Oh my god.
Took me 2 weeks in the pool to master that move before I tried it at school.
Oh shit. Yeah, but the F5 looked like just a monster came in and threw somebody across the fucking ring. Like it just looked amazing because we never saw anything like that before. So it was a different time. But
not to mention I think the first person to get hit with it was Spike Dudley.
No, it was Jeff Hardy.
Jeff Hardy
sold it like he got fucking shot in the face.
Jeff Hardy, I've never seen, like, I like the F5s, and after he does it, the whole body is like a V to him, like it's in a 90-degree angle, and then he drops. That's when it looks the best. But when it's like a little fumble and they just fall to the ground like Vince.
Well, remember when Cage did him in that Royal Rumble?
Mm-mm.
We watched it. It was in the AEW Battle Royal or something. He came in and did some F5s.
Oh, yes.
And they look like powder puffs.
They all look powder puffed.
Yeah.
Because none of them elevated. Their legs were low. They weren't high. So it didn't look like.
Yeah, they were at like
someone brought them up. You know what I'm saying?
They were at like a 90-degree.
Yeah.
Well, because he didn't have the Brock Lesnar fucking farm strength.
No.
To actually get them up.
I remember there was some promo back in the day, and they showed Brock Lesnar working out, and he had that fucking big ass log on his back running on the football field.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit, this thing is huge.
Well, yeah, I remember when he first came in and attacked Jeff Hardy, and he looked like something different.
Yeah,
he looked like a monster.
And Paul Heyman just there laughing,
screaming.
evil as fuck. And you just saw this. Because that's when he was jizzy jacked. Before tattoo, before anything, he just had shoulder. Like all you saw was shoulder blades on
Was
top of shoulder
traps.
blades. Looked
He
like
had
a fucking
traps
ninja.
up to the top of his head.
He
He's like
looked like a
wide
ninja
neck.
turtle with no shell. That's what he
Yeah.
looked like. It's fucking crazy.
It's like wide neck.
Yeah.
All right. Well, before we get out of here, let's talk about this Jonah Hill thing.
Yes, Alex, I actually want to get your opinion too. Tell me if you hear anything or if you heard anything about a movie that's coming out or some kind of auto or biographic movie, and Jonah Hill's supposed to be playing Randy Savage in it. Have you heard anything about that?
I'm gonna look it up.
Because every time when I saw it, I read the whole article, I read everything about it. There was a video and all. I've been trying to pull it up ever since, and all I could find is he was going to play Paul Heyman, which would have been a better fit anyway.
It looks like all that's coming up is a movie called Mid-90s, which I guess would make sense if you're gonna have old school wrestlers in it.
Yeah.
But now, if you look at Jonah Hill, like recently on Jimmy Fallon, he kind of looks like Macho Man. I'm gonna show you my screen here.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at it. It's like he had the purple beanie on and stuff.
Yeah.
Jimmy Fallon, when Jonah Hill Sunday started talking about the climate change legislation on his show.
I'm sorry, guys. Give me a second.
Hey, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Yeah, for some reason I can't.
Yeah, I'm trying to share it real quick. Okay, here we go. It's like this doesn't give you much to go off of here, but oops. Yeah, he's starting to get the beard and all that stuff. I don't know if that's preparation.
Yeah, I can't seem to find.
Yeah, all that came up for me was this movie called Mid-90s. That's I guess that they're working on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, here with his hands up, he looks like he's doing the Macho Man thing, or doing the the snooker.
But I could see him playing Randy Savage. I could also see him playing Paul Heyman. Like he could play both if he wanted to.
I don't know. Would he be able to pull off the personality of Paul Heyman though?
Oh yeah.
You think?
Yeah.
Are you thinking
Have
of
you
like
seen?
Wolf
You
of
haven't
Wall
seen
Street?
that Don't Look Up movie yet, have you? Or Just Look Up, Don't Look Up, whatever that
No, I
Leonardo.
haven't.
Watch that and then come back and ask that question.
Okay, I got you. Okay, let me see if there's a cast here. Cast Jonah Hill. Where's Jonah Hill? No, he's not here.
I don't know. I'll wait until there's a little bit more.
I guess, yeah, more information out.
Yeah.
Unless this already came out and I'm just looking up some horse shit. Yeah, it's a 2018 movie. Just wasted your time. I'm sorry, guys. Or Brian Pillman. That's a good one. Alex. He does look kind of like Brian Pillman.
Yeah, like all these recent pictures of him, he has long flowing hair and a beard.
Yeah.
So much for being a fat looking Jew. Yeah.
Yeah, Alex, I'm gonna try to watch Don't Look Up. Actually, I'm gonna watch it. Before the next episode. We'll do a review on it or something. Looks like Cactus Jack. That's a good one. You know, I think that's
Yeah.
I think that's worthy of a movie. Mick Foley, a Mick Foley movie.
I mean, another great performer, bad athlete.
Amazing performer, horrible athlete. He was the extremes.
I could throw myself off of this ring post. Doesn't mean you're an athlete.
Like, I can't do any push-ups, but I could, throw myself off of high buildings and
I
shit.
could push up off of this goddamn Hell in a Cell cage.
Look, I can't run any suicides, but you can hit me over the head as many times as you want, and I'll still live and not be retarded.
And not be retarded. That's the best part.
Oh my god. Yeah, Mankind is the perfect example of the extremes.
Yeah. Mankind was definitely the one they had a meeting about, and they were like, yo, if you don't stop this shit, our expectation level is gonna go out this fucking roof.
I gotta say too, because I was a chubby kid. Mankind was another one that I was always emulating.
And Bubba Ray.
Bubba Ray.
I used to remember you. I remember you used to hit the.
I used to hit the cutter on the 3D. I think you were the base.
Yep. It was always fun to hit a 3D on somebody. Man, one of these days you're gonna just have to have a old school talk about the crazy wrestling shit we did in school.
God, I wish we would have recorded all of that stuff.
Yeah, that would have been great. Because there's a kid. I remember clear as day we gave the F5 to. And he was not happy about it after that shit because it was like a complete hold on to his legs and you held onto his neck and just drilled him straight to the floor.
Yeah, I almost broke a kid's neck in 5th grade doing a 3D.
I got my shoulder dislocated in school because someone put me in a crippler crossface.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Seems like such a basic move.
First and last time I've ever allowed anybody to get me in a crippler crossface. That shit is the most painful shit after a figure 4 lock.
I swear to God, I was just about to say it. I was about to say the most painful move ever was the figure 4 leg lock.
Bro.
And I gotta call bullshit on the flipping over to your stomach relieves the pressure. It doesn't.
It does. It's not just rolling on your stomach. It's rolling on your stomach and elevating
and
yourself.
Lifting up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I didn't get. I was too fat for that.
You just put yourself in a freaking figure 4 Jericho, like walls of figure 4s at that point.
And you're never getting out. The lion tamer, I used to do that on my cousin all the time. Because he was way smaller than me, and I would just fucking
yeah.
And I would put the knee in the back too.
Oh man. Yeah. What moves I used to do like the Dolph Ziggler move. I used to do shit like that.
Hey, let me tell you something. After like you wrestle a little bit and then you try to do a lion tamer, it's really actually kind of a hard move to hold into.
Yeah.
Because you're holding up their entire, like their all their weight.
Yeah.
By their legs. Sorry, what was the one you said?
The
zigzag?
Yeah, the zigzag, the code breaker. I used to do all that shit on people.
I almost killed my brother. I almost crushed his skull doing the Christian. What's his name?
The Impaler.
The Impaler. Yeah. The one where you hook the back and then flip them around.
Yep. All you hear is the head just.
I drove my brother's head into concrete doing it by accident.
That's how you do it, baby.
Yeah.
You didn't do it by accident. You did the move.
No, I did the move.
Executed it well.
But then I fell I didn't fall, but your weight falls back on his side. His head hit into the concrete and I fell on him. And I was like, oh my, I felt so bad.
I sprained my tailbone doing the atomic drop before.
Sprained your elbow.
Sprained my tailbone.
Tailbone. I was about to say, I don't think you did it right.
Yeah, I sprained my tailbone.
Wow, really? That's I guess untrained. That's just your fault.
No, it's honestly me just jumping with it and landing in the sitting position is not. You're supposed to bend your knees a little bit when you hit the floor, and I didn't. Your feet are supposed to
Ah,
hit the mat like flat, but I went on my like Achilles, just bloop, and it just
yeah.
it fucked me up.
What I could see how wrestlers they get injured doing the basic shit a
Yeah,
lot of the
Eddie
time.
Guerrero broke his elbow doing a elbow drop
Yeah. I
just because he was like an inch off.
I remember I broke my my wrist and my elbow doing, you know, when somebody grabs you by the arm and takes you down to put
Yeah,
you in the crossface.
yeah.
I did that, but when I went down, I landed like this, and it broke my elbow and my radius bone.
Whew. You know how
Yeah.
many box springs I broke, Alex, in the day doing wrestling moves off the bed?
Yeah, same.
Shit.
You know what used to always break a bed was a choke slam.
A choke slam, a
I don't
rock
know,
bottom, or a power bomb with
power
a
bomb.
three. Because it's just so much weight. Like the
Yeah.
rock bottom, me versus whoever it is. And I'm picking up it like within a choke slam kind of way. And we're both falling. Yeah, we're breaking
Yeah.
some shit.
I broke a few beds doing a rock bottom. That's hilarious.
A move that I'd suggest no one trying to do is just any over the head press. Just don't do it.
Over the
If
head
you
press.
any flapjack, anything that has to go with flipping over your body,
Yeah.
don't do it. Just don't do it. You might not have enough strength to do it, or that person might just be too heavy to do it.
No, what it is you got to know the right places to hold a body, because a body's not like,
Right.
the weight is different.
Yeah, everywhere is different. It just depends on what happens after the flip. Because I've
Well,
done plenty of belly to belly suplex over, and I know
oof,
I have the strength to toss because I could.
somebody over. Yeah.
Yeah, but for their not knowing how to contort their body the way they need to, they'll go up and flip right in front of you and come right back down like
Well, that's why if you notice
right here.
in even wrestling, pro wrestling, only few people do those moves.
Yeah,
That belly to belly flip over the.
yeah.
That's a dangerous fucking move to do.
If you notice, they count to three before they do it. They go, whoo,
Yeah.
and now they're in sync, and they'll throw it over.
Right.
And then now,
And then,
if you notice, if they do it now, they land on their feet. They don't even do the whole splash anymore.
well, what I think I noticed that Brock Lesnar does is he'll do that thing where he'll pick them up a little bit and then put them back down. And I think that's him like sort of testing
Timing
it.
it,
Like
yeah.
how not even timing, but I think it's also like how much strength do I need to get him over?
You also have to look at the opponent's legs. Once he puts them down, they're bending their knees and they're
Yeah.
springing up. They're
They're
jumping.
springing.
They're jumping. So he's getting a lot of help. Plus, he's strong. But to find out that Brock Lesnar's not even one of the strongest niggas in the back of the locker room is ridiculous.
They say Cesaro is the guy.
Cesaro.
He's the
And then
number
Cena.
one. Yeah. I think
And then it was Rhino.
Really? Rhino.
Yeah, Rhino.
That's an interesting one. But he was more like, I'm just gonna pick something up because I'm angry.
Angry, yeah, like but just to show their strength backstage, they had it. Cesaro was the number one guy.
Well, you know, definitely they're doing that type of shit in the back.
Oh yeah.
Like, let's see who could pick up. Men do that just on the regular. So
Especially if they're doing training and workouts and everybody's looking at who's on the bench doing whatever.
yeah.
Cesaro was that dude.
I mean, none of them are stronger than Big Papa Pump, though.
Mark Henry.
World's strongest man.
Hey, if you got the title, you got the title, my boy.
Well, they only called him that. Like, that was good marketing because we actually believed he was the world's strongest man. But it was just because he won one of the competitions and he was an Olympic guy.
If you won the competition, Chris, you're the world's strongest man.
Yeah, but so did I believe that's where Strowman came from.
Strowman was a Mr. Gold.
He wasn't world strong. He wasn't doing the like lifting the boulder competition.
No.
Thing? Who was doing that? Somebody was.
Someone else was. It was. I think it was. Was
it Otis? That fat guy, Otis.
Otis. It was Otis. It was Otis. It was Otis.
That's who it was. Okay.
Yeah.
I can't believe I remembered him. That's what I was just gonna say. I can't even remember. I remembered his name.
I think he's still there. No, he's still there. I remember not too long ago he was like wearing overalls or some shit.
he cut off his beard and his
Yeah, his
hair.
beard. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's with somebody, like they're a tag team.
Alex said I power bombed my little sister on a brand new bed. The box spring broken. Oh, that's what you wrote. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. Oh,
And
I
then
just put in
that's
Otis, and this is Otis, number one guy.
number
That's
one
his
bullshit guy.
number one bullshit guy. He boom boom boom.
Oh
Okay.
man. All right. Well, yeah. Let's wrap it up.
All right.
Yeah. Alex, appreciate you for jumping in, man. No, you're
Thanks
the
for
only
being.
one
Let's,
here.
let's shout out all the fans that are in here today. Alex, thank you.
Alex. And
Today would have been a great day to log in on your Facebook too. Buddy.
oh, Wonder, this is how we use it right here. We want to thank Alex for coming through. We want to thank Alex Coquito, Alex Empanada, Coquito's Clips. Thank you for coming through, sir.
Yeah, key. Coquito's Clips, yeah. Alex Romero, thank you.
Romero, thank you for coming through, Alex Romero. We appreciate all of you. See, that's how you butter it up. Yeah.
Gotcha.
You inflate. All right. You know the deal. Follow us: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Rumble, Odyssey, all that stuff at the Misfit Nation. Podbean, misfitnation.podbean.com. Leave us a voicemail 929-464-7348. That's 9294-MISFIT. And shopmisfitnation.com. Go and get some gear.
I got a new promo, guys. Here it goes. You can follow me on IG, Twitter, and Getter at I am Wunda. IAMWUNDA.
Getter.
You can also follow my business page where you need anything custom. Hey, Valentine's Day is coming up. I got the shit for you, fellas. Have her put her hair in a scrunchie real quick. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh.
Follow Trades Customs. Go on www.tradescustoms.com. Or you can also go on my channel, Wonderland, and follow me there. New content coming real soon.
Beautiful. Don't you just love that moment when she just starts putting her hair up? You're like, oh yes,
it's time.
It's time.
Your toes start doing this little thing.
No matter
if it's socks or
not. Oh shit! All right, well, follow me: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and Getter at Crishaun the Don. 800-pound gorilla. Don't go download it. Just don't even waste your time. Sucks.
Fucking sucks.
Sucks dick. And that's it. What is this coming soon Scarface gameplay?
No, he wants you to play the Scarface gameplay on Xbox, but that has to be on Squill Kill on Twitch.
Gotcha. Not
Facebook Gaming with Wunda or YouTube Gaming with Wunda. Can't.
I'm a big Xbox. Scarface fan.
Yeah, Scarface I can't do the Xbox, man.
Yeah. And
play Spider-Man or something.
And big shout out to the Midwest Marks.
Yeah.
Yes, Midwest Marks podcast.
Where you can find Alex Coquito, Alex Romero, Alex Empanada, and Coquito clips.
Definitely. All right. Thank you, Wonder.
Thank you.
Yes, definitely. We'll be back next week for some more KayFabe Kartel on our main channel.
PlayStation 2, then I'll get it. Yeah, we'll do that. If it's the old school one, I have that, so I could play that.
Oh, you thought it was just Xbox?
Yeah.
Got you. All right. Well, we're out of here. Later, guys.
Bye.